Okay, so
because
three,
I liked it with caveats. There were certain things that I've got to say.
I don't have the patience for that. Just don't do it. Everybody out there, just don't. I mean,
but the things that had I'm talking about like the next generation of filmmakers out there. Not that they're listening to this podcast, but I'm saying that they could be looking at this and seeing what they did wrong, or like what could have been better. Because like you said, there were elements in there. There was some writing. We got to see good actors in a bad movie, and to me that elevated the entire movie just a little bit more.
Right.
Had this been some no-name actors or people that, that at least you and I didn't know, it wouldn't have been. What am I doing with my hands? Anyhow, I'm really animated here at this point.
I'm not looking at you. I don't know. Keep your hands where I can see them.
It would have been just a terrible bad movie, right? But
yes,
if with these people in it, we talk about that, good actors being trapped in bad movies and stuff.
Yes.
And that elevated this. You know what? I enjoyed it when they started singing the cornball moments, when they started singing Jingle Bells and not everybody was really into it. And because have we even really talked about we gave the synopsis initially.
Well, see, that wasn't even the corny part to me, because I enjoyed that too. I mean, we're not talking a lot about the story, but here we have, Frank and Laura. They're married. They have 2 kids, Marion and Richard.
Mm-hmm.
Marion has a boyfriend named Brad.
Poor Brad.
So poor Brad. So we've got the 3 kids, even though Marion and her boyfriend are in their 20s. They're already out of college and they're a little older.
Right.
Richard, I don't know how old he's supposed to be. He's just such a little jerk. He obviously hates Brad. I think he's jealous and in love with his sister. He's jealous of that
cool gold hoop that he wears like mine.
You think? Well, he got it early. I mean, later on he could have it if his mom didn't tell him to put it down, because it was dirty. I'm
not sure who else has seen this, but I'm hoping that Jerry, who suggested this, is rolling on the floor because he's seen this. But
are you eating something?
No.
Stop that.
Okay.
I'm hanging up if you start eating. So we've got the family, they're in the car. It just, like you said, starts right off the bat, pops in there, they're talking. All of these characters are annoying and don't get along with each other.
And they're on their way for a Christmas dinner, which always makes things better.
Yes, it's Christmas Eve. The whole entire movie takes place either in the car with them, or they've pulled over or slammed on the brakes.
Yeah.
And they've all gotten out and they're in the middle of the street. Like, that's your only, and we haven't talked about this in probably 2 or 3 years, but we did a string of movies. It seemed like every single movie that we saw took place in one room, or one room and a garage, or one room and a yard.
Right.
Like, that was it. I guess I like a richer environment, more something. There was a cabin. They went into a cabin. They went in it twice. They went into it, and then at the end they went into it again. Of course, the very end, there's a bit of a twist and a reveal at the end. Mm-hmm. I was hoping there was going to be, because otherwise, I don't know.
An hour and a half wasted, an hour and 24 minutes.
I read some reviews online. It was described as like a Twilight Zone episode. So, it's got your surprise twist at the end, which wasn't a surprise at all.
Mm-hmm.
What was the original point? Oh, well, yes.
We're just going through the synopsis and a little bit elaborating on the story.
Well, yeah, anytime you have like this many people they're all just like barking at each other, but it was weird. They made me feel uneasy because they reminded me of a family I know in reality, or something like that, where it's like, we're stuck with each other. You're my family. I love you, but God damn, you bug the crap out of me. Shut the F up. And then and they don't even say I'm sorry. It's just understood. Like, they fight, they call each other names. The son is telling his parents to F off and calling them a-holes. And, this is a family show.
But everybody's over it and nobody holds it against anybody.
But then mom is like, my sweet baby boy, it's like, I don't know whether to slap the kid or slap the mom. And I love her, so I'm not going to slap her. So it was
you
that.
Get in line to slap Richard then, because he was just annoying.
Everybody needed to slap Richard. Like why were they all? So it was like, okay, there's something going on here, and as things go on, I think I don't want to talk about we don't want to do spoilers or if anyone's going to sit through this, thing, I don't want to give away the ending, but I mean, things are revealed and family secrets, and you could see why maybe people are holding grudges against each other.
Right.
I do think Richard was jealous of the boyfriend. I think Richard I don't want to say he had unhealthy feelings for his sister, but I feel like just as a little boy and his older sister that he probably always looked up to and loved, like, here's this guy.
Right.
And so he was a complete jerk to the boyfriend and always, making references to, that he's gay or,
right.
Just constantly bashing him. And, I don't know how the boyfriend got stuck sitting in the middle.
Yeah.
Having to sit next to Richard. But so you do find out things even with the parents, like the parents, they would go from screaming at each other to smiling and no, everything is fine. We're a happy family. So it's like, that was really for me. I don't know.
Okay.
What do you think of that? The way they all interacted and that,
It was good. It was uncomfortable. It was not as polished as it needed to be, though. That's what I'm saying. It needed to be. Their lines delivery wasn't quite there for me. And again, I'm not a director or whatever, but it didn't quite feel finished for me.
Right.
And, had that been done better, I think it would have elevated the movie.
Well, that's the thing. And I don't know if it needed to turn into a comedy. It didn't feel funny at first. So, but then when it got to those corny parts, which them singing the Christmas song didn't feel like a corny part to me. That felt more like, it's like, oh my God, okay, at least they're doing something light and they're all putting in the effort together. They're all singing. They've done this before. Dad has his.
Well, for 20 years they've gone. Did we talk about where they're going? They're taking a drive to visit grandma or the lady's mom for Christmas dinner. They've done this for 20 years. This is the one time he pulls off the road to take a shortcut to go there. Yeah. It actually reminded me of going a ways back to Frozen Memories, the video game, the Silent Hill video game for the Wii.
Okay.
That was my first introduction. Well, I mean, I knew of Silent Hill or whatever. The first one I personally played through, though.
Yeah, that's too bad.
With, having said that, though, there were some enjoyable things in there.
Yeah. This reminded you of that? Made you think of that?
It did, yeah. It made me think about the cell phone, the use of the cell phones or not use of the cell phone, opening it up and hearing messages on there that weren't, weren't connected to it, though they turned on their radio and got strange messages. So, there were creepy elements throughout there that I think could have been and this is what you were saying earlier, though, about, this movie could be redone better.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, even, you know what, it's moments like, okay, we're driving down the road, and, everyone is, at their maximum annoyance with each other, and I don't know what's with all the pull over and stuff. I'm going to pull over. I'm going to slam on my brake. There's so many things I would drive past and not pull over to look at. But
I hope I'm never in trouble. Well, I would be with you, but I hope we never pass anybody in trouble, and because you just zoom on by, wouldn't you?
Oh,
wouldn't let me pull over.
That's right. Sorry, good luck with that.
We'll call from the next stop. Bye.
That's right. Well, no, I mean, they're in the middle of the woods. it's just woods on both sides.
Right, and they never really pull over. You notice that? Every time they stop and pull over, they're in the middle of the road.
Right.
Had there been heavy traffic, yikes.
But okay, the woman, all right, it said they come across a mysterious woman who seems to be holding a dead baby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, a woman in white standing in the middle of the woods, in an eerie, I mean, in all reality, I don't know what I would do. You'd be like, but they pull over and oh, hi, get in and we'll, would you like some coffee and whatever? And she just gets in and, I got to talk about that horrible makeup.
Oh, okay.
'Cause I think she just popped by the Halloween shop on her way to the set and had him stick on a rubber scar on her forehead.
Yeah.
It looked really bad.
It was a little rough there.
So it's come on, people, take a little pride in your movie. So like a lot of that was kind of corny. And then, the daughter, you find out the daughter has some things she's dealing with. This isn't any kind of spoiler or anything because you find out pretty early on. She wants to break up with her boyfriend.
Right.
So
on Christmas Eve at the grandmother's house.
Yeah. So
that's awful.
They think they're close enough, I guess, it was a little fuzzy for me. Did they think they were close enough to the grandmother's where she gets out and she's like, I'm going to walk the rest of the way?
No, they were walking to that cabin. They were going to turn around and go back to the cabin.
Turn around and go back.
Yeah.
Okay. That's right, because I had to ask you last night and you told me that already. See, my brain just keeps throwing it out because my brain doesn't care. But, them, when she got out and the dad was like, okay, well, see you there, honey. And they just drive off.
They just bone out and just leave her there.
Yeah. So she's in the middle of the street in the dark, in the woods, just walking. Like, see you there, honey. I don't know. So I was like, what the hell? What just happened there? That was really bad. I don't know.
Okay. I will. I probably shouldn't talk about this.
Well,
Maybe I'll cut this out. I was just going to say I was talking to Jerry about this right now.
Oh no!
I just don't know.
Why isn't he on the line with us?
We should have had him join us. Oh my gosh! Why didn't I think of that?
I don't know.
He said he can't wait to hear you give this hell.
Nuh-uh. So he did do this on purpose. I'm going to get you. I'm going to find out where you live. Earlier I was going to say give me his email address so I know where to send the hate mail.
Oh, well. Anyhow, so we've talked probably enough about this at this point, but...
You took an hour and a half of my life. Yeah.
Well, we got to share it together. But, like I said, this is why I like movies like this. This is what I get out of it, and I'm sorry you have to suffer through them occasionally with me, but... I do think that somebody else watching these things, and I think that's how people learn their craft and how they get better at things. And I think that, independent filmmakers that maybe are thinking about doing something, watch movies like this too and see what you could do to make better. And
yeah, well, and like I said, my ultimate, after all of this garbage, I distilled it down to that one thought, that it's a great one to be redone.
Yeah. Okay.
Somebody keep the title, keep the story, keep the characters, make Richard a little dickhead, keep everything how it is, but do it better.
Right.
And and bring Lynn Shay back as the mom.
Yeah.
And Ray Wise as the dad. Is that his name?
Yep.
Bring them back because they're great actors. And I guess the kids did a fine job. Somebody redo this thing. It's a piece of crap.
Well, I want to say it's like doing Evil Dead over again. Not that first Evil Dead was a piece of crap.
Whoa.
But I'm just saying, no, not the remakes or whatever. I'm talking about Evil Dead 2 are about the same movie, but it was just done better the second time.
Oh, okay, because I'm like, don't talk about that thing that came out a couple years back here, that redo.
No, I'm not talking about that.
Yeah, because that's... Yeah.
Okay.
That's a different movie.
Yes, indeed.
But yeah, so there were definitely things I wanted more, something a little more cohesive as far as the supernatural elements.
Mm-hmm.
A woman in white holding a baby with a plastic stick on Halloween scar on her forehead. Okay. A cabin with scary tools hanging on the wall.
Right.
Hatchets, axes, lots of... So I'm like, okay, someone's gonna get the axe or some... Okay. And then, a hearse that drives by.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted those 3 supernatural... Not that the cabin with the, with the weapons in it. Not that was supernatural.
Yeah.
But how did it play in? The boyfriend. Poor Brad. Though you know what, he probably, if he'd have lived, he'd have had a real rough night.
Yes.
Gosh.
He maybe got off easy after all.
Because he was going to propose to her, right?
That's right.
He was getting ready to propose, and she's trying to think of a way to dump him.
Nice.
And she also had even more news for him, so he was about to have a really rough night. But his, he was missing, and then his body was in the middle of the road all chopped up.
Yeah.
What happened?
You never know.
So my mind is trying to put together the lady in white, the cabin with the axes, this
missing time.